Thank you, Ernie. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Christine. Over the last 4 years, I've been invited to speak to high school students trying to figure out who they want to become. Runners discovering they're capable of more than they imagined. Nurses and physicians learning how to care for others and navigating burnout. Cancer organizations and communities searching for hope in difficult times. At first, those audiences seem very different, but they are all asking the same question. How do we live a life that truly matters? I think that question is especially fitting here. Many of you have spent decades building businesses, raising families, serving this community, mentoring young people, leading organizations, and giving back in ways that most people will never fully know. Some of you are retired, others still deeply involved. But after a lifetime of achievement, I imagine the question began to change. We stopped asking, what more can I accomplish? And begin asking, did my life matter? What legacy will I leave? What do I still have left to give? I don't have all the answers. But over the past 50 years, life has taught me a few lessons. Not just as a clinician, not just as an endurance athlete, not just as someone who is living with stage 4 cancer, but simply as a human being. Today, I'd like to share 3 of those lessons, not as separate stories, but as one life. A life that has taught me about service, about endurance, and ultimately, about what it means to live fully. Years ago, I participated in Rotary's Cycle for Sight. I remember watching tandem bicycles. One rider could see, the other couldn't. One steered, the other trusted. At the time, I thought I was participating in a fundraiser. Looking back, after hundreds of races, I learned none of us reaches the finish line alone. Sometimes we're the one steering. Sometimes we're the one being guided. And sometimes our greatest act of service is simply helping another person keep moving. I've spent 25 years in healthcare. I started out as a young ICU nurse who honestly had no idea where life would take me. People saw something in me before I saw it in myself. Mentors challenged me, believed in me, pushed me outside my comfort zone. Those opportunities eventually led me into helping establish UCSF's ventricular assist device program and ECMO program, developing the ECMO to go model now used worldwide, and assisting the very first patient walking on ECMO. I eventually became a nurse practitioner in lung transplant in what has become the #1 lung transplant program in the nation. Looking back, those accomplishments aren't what I'm proudest of. What stays with me are the people. The patients who trusted us with their lives, the families who led us into their hardest days, the mentors who quietly shaped me, the students I had the privilege to teach. Somewhere along the way, I realized service isn't simply what we do. It becomes who we are. Even after retirement, that identity never really leaves us. Because once you've spent your life lifting other people, you never quite stop. And perhaps that's what Rotary has understood for more than a century. Not that service fills a calendar, but that it shapes a life. So my encouragement to all of you is this: find places where your gifts can outlive your career. Mentor someone. Believe in someone before they believe in themselves. The greatest investment you'll ever make is another person. If service taught me why we move forward, endurance taught me how. I've spent much of my adult life chasing long finish lines, marathons, 100-mile ultramarathons in mountains and desert terrains, Ironman distance triathlons, swimming 2.4 miles, then biking 112 miles, and then finishing with a 26.2-mile marathon. People often ask, why would anyone willingly run 100 miles? Honestly, I was drawn to what was seemingly impossible. In all those long miles, I discovered something. Endurance isn't really about running. It's about learning how to keep moving when life becomes difficult. 2 years ago, I stood on the starting line of the Ironman World Championship in Kona. For many triathletes, it's the race of a lifetime. But then, I already had stage 4 cancer. The prone position in swimming made my neck, tongue, and face swollen. I had tumors pressing against my superior vena cava. I had pain from tumors in my bones. Lung tumors made breathing difficult before the race even started. Halfway through the swim, I knew I had an impossible task with time running out. With 2 minutes to spare, I staggered on the shore, short of breath, finishing the most difficult swim of my life. I got on the bike, and somewhere out on the course, I came upon a crashed cyclist lying on the ground with a head injury. I stopped and told myself it was only a race. That man needed my help. I lost nearly an hour before medical help arrived. I destroyed myself on the bike to chase another cutoff time. When I got to the marathon, I told myself, it's only 26.2 miles. You know how to run 100 miles. What I remember most about Kona was the strength I drew from the people who believed in me. That I was running for those who are still in the fight and those whom we lost to cancer. Stage 4 cancer is not a reason to give up, but an invitation to live fully and courageously. Character is rarely rebuilt when life goes according to plan. Character is revealed when it doesn't. And endurance, I've learned, has very little to do with athletic ability. It's choosing kindness when you're exhausted, showing up when no one notices, doing the right thing, even when it costs you something. So, whenever life finds you today, keep showing up. Especially when nobody notices. Because those moments often define us far more than our greatest achievements. 4 years ago, my life changed forever. In my hospital's emergency room, I looked at my X-ray and CT scan on my phone. I knew it was cancer. One day, I was caring for patients. The next, I became one. As clinicians, we spend our lives trying to prolong life. As patients, we begin asking a different question. How should I live the time I have left? People have asked me many times, how do you want to be remembered? I usually answer with an old phrase, ars moriendi. The art of dying. It teaches that dying isn't something we do alone. It's something we share with the people we love. Most of us wait too long to tell people what they mean to us. We wait for funerals, obituaries, eulogies. But I don't want to wait until I'm gone for my impact to be known. I want to be present for the conversations, the reconciliations, the laughter, the ordinary moments that become extraordinary simply because we're paying attention. And when my life is remembered, I hope it won't be because I finished an Ironman or because I helped build an ECMO program or because I spoke on a stage like this. I hope it's because I made someone think differently. I made someone feel seen. I made someone believe they were capable of more than they imagined. The older I get, the less interested I am in what I'll be remembered for. And the more interested I am in who I'll leave behind. Have you ever asked yourself, how do you want to be remembered? I don't ask that question to make us think about death. I ask it because the answer changes how we live tomorrow morning. Don't wait for a diagnosis to live with urgency. Ask yourself tonight, what would I do differently if I knew time was short? Who would I love harder? How would I serve more deeply? And then start doing that now. Legacy isn't something we build at the end of our life. It's built in ordinary Tuesdays. It's built in coffee conversations, mentoring a young person, spending time with an old friend, writing the note you've been meaning to write, showing up again and again. One of the young runners from Napa High School, Miel, she's pictured down here, bottom center, who is visually impaired, has participated in JP's Backyard Ultra, the fundraiser for cancer I have hosted in Skyline Wilderness Park over the last 4 years. Every time I watched her run, I'm reminded that confidence doesn't simply appear. Somewhere along the way, someone believed in her. Someone encouraged her. Someone invested in her. Rotary has been doing exactly that for generations. Legacy isn't leaving something behind. It's leaving someone stronger. Running taught me that every step matters. Nursing taught me that every interaction matters. Cancer taught me that every moment matters. And a life of service has taught me that every person matters. So, whatever your next step is, whether it's mentoring a young leader, serving your community, calling someone you've been meaning to reconnect with, or simply reminding another person that they matter, make that step count. Because in the end, a meaningful life isn't measured only by the miles we've traveled, the titles we've held, or the accomplishments we've collected. It's measured by the lives we touch along the way. And if there's one thought I hope you carry with you after today, it's this: be a force for good. Be a force for good in your family. Be a force for good in your community. Be a force for good in the quiet moments when no one is watching. Because every act of kindness, every moment of service, every life you encourage creates a legacy that reaches farther than you may ever know. Because every step matters. Thank you.